Welcome back to another episode on the See Through It podcast. I am your host, Brian Sells. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, Twitter world, and hello, YouTube. All the ones that are watching on those designated apps and Facebook. How are you guys doing tonight? We are covering college football, previewing some college football, some baseball talk. It is October. You can feel it in the air. The weather is changing. Everything is getting real fall like. It's baseball time. And we're going to predict some NFL games. Well, all the NFL games that's coming up for this upcoming weekend, Sunday and Monday night. Last week I had 6 wins. There was some games that should have put me over the top, but I had 6 wins. That was decent. That was decent. So before we get into it, I'd like to remind you guys, if you are watching on Twitter, go ahead and follow me. If you want to follow my Facebook page, go to the Facebook page and give it a like and a share. Here is the address for that Facebook page. Oops, nope, not there. Oh, there we go. Having some technical difficulties, but www.facebook.com/STIPODCAST. Go ahead and go there, like, follow, share, join the conversation. Like I said, I do sports, and I do some community, which is things that are affecting us in our daily lives. So go ahead and give that a like. Also, hello Mallory. Also, YouTube. I went blank, but YouTube. Once I get to 100 subscribers, YouTube will allow me to create a URL. So if you could go there and give that a like, a subscribe, follow me there. Join the conversation. Join the conversation on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, so you don't miss a moment of when I go live on my podcast. So, anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it tonight. Yeah, I know there's no game tomorrow for Alabama, but we got some games that might shake up college football this weekend. So, um, what else? Baseball. I got the Yankees. That's my favorite team. The Yankees are my team. They've been my team for a very long time, but I want to pick them to win, but it's hard to pick, knowing that the Houston Astros has the best pitching staff in baseball right now. They're hot. Jason Verlander, he's always giving the Yankees a problem, and I just don't like how the Yankees have played the Astros this year. I'm glad that the Oakland A's are out, because they also gave the Yankees fit. So if Tampa Bay, even they played Tampa Bay even kind of close, but my heart is telling me that the Yankees will somehow find a way to win another championship. I just don't see it or believe it, but I'm hoping the Yankees play the easiest team, and I feel like the easiest team is Atlanta or St. Louis. I don't want them playing the Dodgers. They've been beaten so many times. I feel like they might find some extra offense, and their pitching staff might become more consistent and win a World Series. But I'm hoping the Yankees get there and they play the St. Louis Cardinals or Atlanta Braves. Either one of those, I feel like it'll be very easy for them to win. I don't want to be sitting there sweating for Game 7. For the Yankees to win one. So I want it to be fairly easy. It's been a little rough patch since the Yankees have been that deep into the playoffs. So I'm going with the Yankees. I know a lot of people like that's another championship that's been bought by the Yankees, but I'm going with the Yankees, and that's who I'm riding with. The Yankees. Let's go Yankees, Bronx Bombers. So we're gonna move on to college football. I just wanted to make sure you guys know that I'm a Yankees fan. But anyway, before the Yankees win a championship, I know a lot of people like to jump in there and be like, "Yeah, Yankees won. We're champions." I've been a Yankees fan for a very long time. All my hats, a lot of my hats, Yankees. I've been a fan of them since Derek Jeter, since they won as when I was younger, 96, when they beat, was it 96? 92? When they beat the Braves. When they beat that unbelievable pitching staff in Atlanta Braves. That was the first time I really started paying attention to baseball, and that was the team I was watching. So they've been my team since then. So that's that. But anyway, as we roll into college football this week, it's a light week, but we got enough games on here for this week that could definitely shake up the rankings, and maybe put some coaches on the hot seat. Maybe put some coaches on the hot seat, and maybe the seats are already hot. But we're gonna start off in the Big Ten, and we're gonna go Iowa. And when I get done talking about these things, I'm gonna show you my top five. I'm gonna show you my top five because I tweeted this out about my top five, but we're gonna get into that later. But we're gonna start off with Iowa versus Michigan, and I feel like this is a game that Michigan can lose. I don't know if they can win. Sometimes you're watching those games and you're like, did that team lose that game or did that team stop playing and they was gifted that game? I feel like this is a game Michigan will outright lose. I don't believe that they have enough offense. I don't believe in Shea Patterson to be consistent enough with the ball. They beat Rutgers. How much does that count for? How much weight do you put into that game to say, okay, they found what they need to do? That was okay, y'all had a rough patch. Let's give you something lighter and see what you can do with that. That's what one of those that game was that for the Michigan Wolverines. That Rutgers game, that's what that was. I don't believe that offense has found their identity or what they want to do on offense. I also don't believe in Shea Patterson. The defense still looks shaky. If you're Iowa, there's a lot riding on this game right here. There's a lot riding on this game right here, and I believe they can take it. They're decent on offense. They have always been very strong on defense. They're not a very flashy team, but they come in there and they're gonna put in work. And I believe they're gonna if Michigan wants to win, they're gonna have to play a full, complete game, not a half, not a quarter. They're gonna have to play a full, complete game. But I don't think it's gonna happen. As you see, I have my Michigan helmet back there because I was pretty high on Michigan. I thought they was gonna come in here and own the Big Ten, and that's not what happened. That is not what's going on. This is not the Michigan team that I'm pretty sure Michigan fans have envisioned. It's gonna be a struggle. They got a tough stretch coming up. They got a tough stretch. Notre Dame, I don't see them winning that game. I don't know if they'll beat Michigan State. They're going to probably get ran by Ohio State. I feel like this is going to be a rough season for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverine fans. So I have Michigan losing that game to Iowa. That cancels them in any type of hype for playoffs. So that'll just destroy that dream. Florida, Auburn. I've been going back and forth with that one. I don't know. I feel like Trask, the quarterback for Florida, is what Florida's been looking for, a quarterback that can throw the ball. I see you. I see you, War Eagle. You messed up my train of thought. Dang you, bird. Florida. Florida's going to get you guys. Florida, the quarterback is Dan Mullen's been looking for a quarterback, and he has his quarterback. I believe this kid he has a good arm. He's I think more he reads the coverage a lot better than what Felipe does, and I think when he sees the wide receiver that he wants to throw, he puts it in. Sometimes he's kind of risky with some of his passes, but he's a freshman. He's a freshman. The question is, will Florida be able to contain the edge against Auburn's speed option? Will Florida stay disciplined enough? Will they have eye discipline enough to keep Auburn from running east-west? Yeah, absolutely. Will they keep Auburn from running east-west on them all game? And I don't know if they will be disciplined enough. That game that Florida played against Miami, that was a very undisciplined game. And it almost cost them. It almost cost them in that game against Miami. So this is the big time right here. You got Auburn coming into Gainesville, coming into your home stadium, trying to make a statement. Auburn already made a statement against Oregon. It was a kind kind of an escape game, but I mean they won the game, and now Bo Nix is America's favorite. Um, Everyone's singing praises of Auburn, as you see. I already have Auburn fans going crazy about that game, but this is a big game for the SEC, especially for Gus Malzahn. Can he keep his team focused? Because they got a tough stretch. They got a tough stretch. Georgia, LSU, and then Alabama. They got a tough stretch. If they can take care of business against Florida, that stadium that stadium's gonna be rocking. But I got Florida winning that game. I think it's gonna be maybe a late field goal. I don't believe the score would be very high. I'm thinking 21-24 field goal. Florida wins. I believe we'll see how good Auburn's defense is, and we'll see how good of a quarterback Trask is. Will he be good enough to beat Auburn? Will he be good enough to keep Florida into this game and not make the costly mistakes that could definitely get them taken out of this game early? That's what we're going to see. And if he can do that against Auburn, the sky is the limit for Florida as they look towards that Georgia game. If Florida takes care of business against Auburn, and they got Georgia coming up, that's that's going to put a lot of. Although Florida has not done very well against Georgia in the previous years, this will be a whole new hype. I mean, this would take the East to another level. So, I'm expecting Florida to take care of business. 21-24. Trask is the player of the game. He's going to make some things happen. He's going to outshine Bo Nix. This is going to be a battle of the freshman quarterbacks. So, I believe in Trask. Trask is going to take care of business. We got Michigan State, Ohio State. Ohio State. I like Michigan State. Since moving to Indiana, that's one team that I've enjoyed watching. They remind me of the SEC. The way they play defense. They're not very good on offense this year, but the way they play defense, Mike D'Antoni, I like the head coach. I like that team. They haven't found offense for what, 2 years now. I don't know where their offense is at. Will they have enough offense in this game against Ohio State? I don't think so. Will the defense keep them in the game for a long period of time? I believe so. I believe the defense will keep them in the game, but what does that mean? Will they win? No, they're not going to win that game. Ohio State, I'm not picking a blowout. I don't think Ohio State is going to blow them out. I believe Ohio State is going to run into a wall. They went, whoa, okay. We're going to get tested. I feel like Michigan State has to weather that first surge from Ohio State. Be disciplined. Play within yourselves. And do what the game do. Stick to the game plan. Offense and defense. Don't get pretty out there. Do what you can. Do what you're supposed to be doing, and keep the game close. If they stay in character, I believe the game will stay closer. But I have Ohio State winning the game. I'm thinking 31-14. That's not super close, but that's not a huge blowout. Ohio State is just that good on offense. Their defense is pretty solid. Although we haven't seen them play anyone worth mentioning, but they've been complete. They've been the most complete team in college football. Offense, defense, special teams. They have been the most complete team in college football. They've heard the rumblings of Michigan is coming. You guys are done. Urban Meyer's gone. Well, that goes Ohio State's chances. They've heard it all. They've been looking at all that offseason talk, all that offseason nonsense, and they've came to play. They are leaving no doubt. I've been saying this for the past 2 weeks. Ohio State is playing like they're leaving no doubt. They're trying to show everyone they are the best team in college football. They want to show that they still run the Big Ten. They're trying to show that. I think they're doing a great job of showing that. Like I said, they're the most complete team. You can't fault them for who they're playing. I mean, they could be playing Tulane or whoever they've been playing. They could be playing those teams and could be giving up 31 points. They could be giving up 40 points or whatever, get into a shootout and winning those games. That's not what they're doing. They're handling their competition. They see who's on the schedule, they play them, and they destroy them. And only thing we can point out or get mad about or question, well, who are they playing? Who are they playing? Well, there's other teams that are playing subpar teams and are struggling on defense, that are struggling on offense. So we have to look at it with a better eye. You have to see through it. The name of the podcast, See Through It. So see through it. You have to see through it and see what it is. They're playing a complete game. Right now, they're the only ones playing a complete game. Some people can throw Oklahoma in that argument, but we still, I feel like Ohio State is the best right now. Another game out in the Pac-12. I've already said the Pac-12 is done, but this would definitely solidify that claim that I'm pushing. Cal versus Oregon. Both have 1 losses. As we all know, Oregon doesn't have a conference loss, though. They do have a loss to Auburn. If Auburn keeps winning, that makes Oregon look pretty good. But I feel like Cal, that team is very good on defense. They came into Ole Miss, beat Ole Miss. Not saying Ole Miss is very good, but they came into SEC country and beat Ole Miss at Ole Miss. Questionable call at the end. It should never got to that point, but Cal took care of business. They won that game. So I like how they play on defense. I like their defense. Oregon played a team with a solid defense in Auburn. Caused Justin some issues. You can't say he played that game very clean. I'm pretty sure that game probably took him down in the Heisman race. I don't hear many people talking about him or even mentioning his name for the Heisman race. So good defenses. If Cal can come in there with a good defensive game plan, I can see Cal winning this game. And that's who I have winning this game. I'm taking Cal. Cal Bruins. Nope, Cal Golden Bears. Cal Golden Bears to beat the Oregon Ducks in Autzen Stadium. I think I said that right. They're going to beat them. So that would definitely shake up the Pac-12. That would probably cancel the Pac-12. I mean, we still got Washington, who has 1 loss, who lost to Cal. But I still don't believe that the Pac-12 can get into the playoffs with 1 losses, with the way their schedules are set up. I don't see it. I mean, there would have to be a lot of teams up top losing some games and maybe getting blown out. So we'll discuss that. Pac-12 and non-Power 5 teams, who has the best chance to get into the playoffs as time get closer to the playoffs. So let's go ahead and talk about my top 5. My top 5 right now as we enter into October, and yeah, let's just go ahead and talk about it. So number we're gonna start off at the bottom. We're gonna start off at the bottom, and number 5, coming in at number 5, we have the Clemson Tigers. The Clemson Tigers are number 5 because they don't look that good. They beat a Texas A&M team that doesn't look that good after all their losses and what they've looked like. We put a lot of weight onto Texas A&M, thinking that they were going to be better, that Kellen Mond was going to carry the load, and Jimbo Fisher has figured it out. No, he needs a quarterback. That's the missing piece for Texas A&M. But anyway, Clemson, they don't look that good. We don't know what the identity is. Are they going to be throwing the ball, or are they going to hand it off to Travis? We don't know. That struggle win against North Carolina, that was very close. We could be definitely talking about them not even being in the top 10 if they would have lost to North Carolina. They probably would be outside the top 10 if they would have lost to North Carolina, because everyone else won behind them. So I find it very hard that you would keep Clemson in the top 10 losing to an unranked North Carolina team. So they didn't look good in that game. They look okay against Texas A&M, but Texas A&M doesn't look very good at all. Um, what else? Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like the elite quarterback that he did last year, and that's maybe because teams have a tape on him, so they're game planning against him. They're trying to make sure he's not doing some things, trying to take away some things from him. That's probably the case. We don't know, but I mean, for a freshman to come in, that a freshman to come in and tear the league up like he did last year, it makes sense that teams watch the tape and created a game plan, a defensive game plan to make sure they don't get carved up like last year. So I mean, that's probably the case, but they don't look that good. He doesn't look that good. Clemson Tigers don't look that good. They got a lot of the offensive line is not doing. It's not. Every team has issues. Well, I can't say every team, but some teams have issues, and some teams' issues are more glaring than others. And when you have these issues and you can see it against lesser opponents, that's a red flag. When you have issues and you can see it against lesser opponents, that's a red flag. You're not even playing the elite teams yet. It's a red flag when you can see it against lesser opponents. So that's why Clemson is number 5. Clemson is number 5. We move on to number 4. Get you number 4. Oklahoma. Oklahoma is my number 14. And why Oklahoma is number 4? It's because they haven't played anyone yet. I'm just not because I'm hating on Jalen or I don't like Oklahoma. It's strictly because they haven't played anyone. We see the same. It's the same thing from Oklahoma. It's the same style of. It's not well. They're not throwing the ball as much, but it's the same style of play. You know, the quarterback dominates the offense, and he's the featured one. So you don't really know how the rest of the team is. You know, he has some receivers on the outside, but the defense hasn't really been tested. Although I would say they're doing a lot better than what they have done in previous seasons against lesser opponents. They're not giving up those points. They played Houston. That game didn't turn into a shootout. They played UCLA. That game didn't turn into a shootout. So I feel like the new defensive coordinator has done some improvements, but we will see how improved that defense is once they get into Big 12 play where it seems like defenses don't really matter. They don't show up. So Oklahoma sits at 4, but a strong number 4, not a weak number 4, if that even makes any sense, but a strong number 4. So that's where the Sooners are sitting. Jalen Hurts, I have him as probably number 2 on my Heisman list right now. He's not. He's winning. He's putting up numbers. He's winning. What else do you want a quarterback to do? I don't know how you knock him for that. The game is not the trophy doesn't go to who's the best technical quarterback who can read coverage and go through progress. It's not about that. It's about the numbers. It's about the excitement. That's what the trophy is. That's what the trophy is. I know that upsets people, but that's what the trophy is. And I would have to say he's number 2 because he's doing what he's supposed to do in Oklahoma, and he's doing his job. So number 3, we have coming in at number 3 is LSU. The reason is because LSU has the best win. They beat Texas in Texas. They have some issues also. We don't know how good that defense is. They gave up 30 points to Texas. They also gave up 30 some odd points to Vanderbilt. We don't know how good the defense is. They used to be DBU. I don't know if they're DBU anymore. I don't know. How good is that defense? We don't know. We do know one thing. That offense is very good. We know that LSU is putting up some points. We haven't seen points put up by LSU in forever. I don't think I've ever seen LSU put up points. Even when they had Jamarcus Russell, that team was not this team. This team is putting up points. They're throwing the ball all over the place, and they had some decent quarterbacks. Drawing a blank, can't even remember his name, but They had some decent quarterbacks, but none of them are like Burrow. And LSU has the best win right now. They beat Texas in Texas at night. What else can you? I mean, what else do you need to put them up there? What else do you need? I mean, yes, they have some issues on defense, but offensively, they're solid. They're pretty solid. They have the best win right now. I mean, some would say Auburn has the best win. They beat Oregon. You beat Oregon. How did you do it? I mean, that pass. I told you guys that game was going to be a weird game. The throw was weird. It was underthrown. He had to come back. He out jumped him, and he fell into the end zone. I mean, a win is a win, but did you? Whatever. I'll move on. But LSU is number three. LSU is number three. We move on to our number two, and it's no shock. Is it a shock? I mean, if you're looking at the games, you even I'm an Alabama fan, but I can't put them number one because they maybe I'm wanting too much. The defense is ranked in near the 30s. That's not Alabama defense. There's a lot of issues that I see, a lot of things that I don't like seeing, some things that I need improved on, some players that probably should change positions. They're playing out of position. I need to see some improvement, but there is a huge but. Tua is the quarterback. And if Tua is healthy, I don't believe there's a team here on this list that could beat Alabama. I don't believe there's a team on this list. Pay attention to what I said. I don't believe there's a team on this list that could beat Alabama. On this list. Is the list complete? It's not complete. Let's see who's number one. And sitting at number one is the Ohio State Buckeyes. I need to see more from Alabama. I need to see more. But right now we're talking about the number one team in the league. I mean, in college football. And that's Ohio State. I put them up there because, like I said, they're complete. You can't get mad at that. You have to be honest with yourself. They are complete. If you can see behind me, they sit right there. Number one. Alabama's number two. Georgia, not even in the top five. I'm still working on my collection. Don't judge me. I am working on my collection. I'm gonna get some more. There's some teams that need to be up there. Some teams that need to be moved. At least two. But anyway, Ohio State, they're a complete team. Offense, defense, special teams. Alabama has some issues on special teams. The punting game. The kicking game has been an issue since I was born. That's never going to get fixed. So that's not even, we shouldn't even talk about that. But that's the only team I feel like that can turn it into a game. Excuse me. That's the only team I feel like that can maybe that might scare me if Alabama has to play Ohio State. They'll play them in the championship game, or if they have to play them early. I don't know if they make it. I thought about that, and I don't know. I don't know. Still debating about Clemson ahead of Oklahoma. Only reason I put Oklahoma up there because they're doing okay. They're doing pretty good. They haven't struggled. Clemson has struggled. They don't look the same as before. It's not the same team. Offensive line is not the same. Defensive line is looking pretty solid. DBs haven't really been tested. Well, against North Carolina, it was tested pretty good. It's just the teams are different now, and Trevor Lawrence is definitely not the same. And I feel like that's because teams have tape out on. They've seen enough of him from last year that they're game planning against him to cause him to throw more interception, cause him, and that's also his offensive line is not giving him enough time in the back so he can just sit there and scan the field like he did last year. He used to sit back there, hold that ball. He used to do that. He don't have that time no more. He has to go with his first or second option, and usually his first option is covered, and the offensive line is not protecting. They're holding up for him. You said what's the number? That's Alabama. That's the logo. That's the Alabama Crimson Tide elephant. I don't know if you're being funny right now, but that is the elephant. If you see the the flag right there, that's the elephant. But I think it's pretty solid. I think that's a solid top 5 with no, it just honestly watching the games and looking at all these teams play. I could easily. I thought about putting Georgia number 5, but they struggled against Notre Dame. Notre Dame played them very tough in their at home environment. At night, they played them very tough. Georgia could have lost that game. So 4 through maybe 7 could all be flip flopped. Some people mentioned Wisconsin. Wisconsin could have been up there, but I felt like they played around with Northwestern. They could have easily lost that game. I don't know if because they came off an emotional high, beating Michigan the way they beat Michigan at home, and they just they could have easily lost to Northwestern. So that didn't taste good in my mouth. I was like, Wisconsin, they're gonna have to drop a little bit because they didn't come out and handle business like I thought they should have. But if they would have handled business against Northwestern, I would have had them probably sitting where Oklahoma's at or sitting where Clemson is. But it's kind of hard to take the team that won the championship all the way out the top 5. But if they keep playing the way they playing, I don't see how you justify keeping them in the top 5 if they're not dominating or if they're not putting a complete game together. Oh, which two? My bad. Which two? Oh, I mean, I'm pretty sure you know which one. No, it's not Notre Dame. That Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan and Michigan State. They need to come down. They need to be on my lower brackets down here, my lower shelves. But definitely Michigan, because I was riding very high on Michigan, and they have definitely laid an egg. It's going to be a long season. I don't see them beating Michigan State. I don't see them beating Notre Dame. I don't see them beating Ohio State. They might lose to Minnesota. Minnesota's going to play Michigan very tough. I don't know how many games Michigan can win. So I don't know how many games Michigan can win. I don't know. But that is the top 5, my top 5. I'll do another one. Probably, I don't want to do it every week because I don't think there would be a lot of changes. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so I'll probably do one at the end of the month, probably heading into November when the playoff talk starts talking. This playoff talk start heating up. Probably do another top 5, but that is the top 5 that I put out there on Twitter and caught some slack, especially from the Alabama fans because they feel like they should be number 1, but I don't see it right now. There's a lot of glaring issues with the team. LSU, they got to get that stuff fixed before LSU comes to town, and Auburn and even Mississippi State. But Oklahoma, we'll see how good they are when they get into their Big 12 play. Clemson, it's the ACC. I don't see any tests. Well, actually, next week when they play Florida State, will Florida State come to play? With Clemson struggling against North Carolina, will Florida State come to play? Will they come to play? But that's the top 5. So next week, I got one more thing to mention before we get into the NFL predictions. Next week, I'm going to have Kevin O'Connell from Fox Sports. We're going to be talking Tuesday. We got Notre Dame USC. That's a big game coming up. Notre Dame USC, we're going to be talking on Tuesday. Kevin O'Connell from Fox Sports Network will be with me here talking Notre Dame, USC. Um, I felt like that game had more hype before USC lost their game, but it's still gonna be an exciting game. It's always an exciting game when you got California, the Trojans coming to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Last year was a good game. I feel like this year is going to be a very good game. Should not disappoint. So make sure you tune into that. Next week, Tuesday, Kevin O'Connell from Fox Sports will be with me talking and breaking down the Notre Dame USC game. So as we roll into the NFL, last week, like I said, I picked 6 games. No, I picked more than 6 games, but I had 6 wins. I should have had more. But that didn't happen. So we're going to go ahead and start it off, and we're going to go with, my team, the Jets versus the Eagles. Sam Darnold's supposed to be back. I don't think he's playing, but I don't think it really matters. Philadelphia wins that game. I don't know what else to say about that. Le'Veon Bell, why did we pick him up? Can we trade him now? I don't know why you have him. He needs to be with a veteran quarterback. He should have went to Green Bay. It's frustration. The Jets will never be anything. It's so disappointing. Oh man, the Jets. Why am I even a fan? Oh, I digress. Anyway, we're going next to New England versus the Washington Redskins. I said last week, the Washington Redskins better not put Dwayne Haskins in. And they put him in. And he looked horrible. And then he had to go throughout the rest of the week hearing how bad he looked. They should have kept playing Case Keenum. There was no reason to bring Dwayne Haskins in. He wasn't ready. There was no reason to bring him in. You set him up. They set him up. I don't know why they did that. I hope he's not playing against New England because New England's going to win that game. I'm not even going to go into it. New England's going to win that game, and I hope it doesn't get ugly. We got Jacksonville versus Carolina. Kyle Allen looking pretty good. The question is, will he be taking Cam Newton's starting position? Is it fair for him to take Cam Newton's starting? Yes, it's fair. Does he deserve to take Cam Newton's starting position? If Kyle Allen wins 6 games by the time Cam comes back, how do you take him out of the game? Because Cam's the starter? From the previous seasons of watching Cam, he hasn't been very good. Now, I understand if people want to look into the past and be like, he was the MVP, he got close to winning a Super Bowl. Okay, what has he done since then? He's been playing injured. I get that. But do you really want to mess up the chemistry right now? Everyone's finding their groove. Everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. The Carolina team looks pretty good with Kyle Allen back there. Do you want to really risk messing that up? I don't know. I guess it depends on what the division looks like. If if the Saints have some stumbles and no one's really running away with the division, maybe you work Cam back into the starting lineup. Maybe. Let me go ahead and take down these colors. I'll just leave them up. Maybe you work them back in, but it depends. I guess it depends on what the division looks like. But like I said, I'm riding with Jacksonville. I like what they got. Minshew mania. I am here for it. Rock. I'm telling you, I think Jacksonville has it's going to take the division. Houston already lost last week. Indiana lost again. The Titans did beat Atlanta, but I feel like this is Jacksonville's division this year. Yeah, he hasn't been the same since then, but I'm taking Jacksonville over the Carolina Panthers. If Jacksonville wins this game, then that'll probably quiet the cause for Cam to sit and not come back as a starter. But if Carolina wins this game, We're going to hear it all week. Should Cam really come back? Does it matter if Cam come back? This should now be Kyle Allen's team. If Carolina wins this game, that's what we're going to hear for the rest of the week. So I'm pulling for Jacksonville to win that game and to quiet that noise. Arizona, Cincinnati. Overtime? Tie? I'm going to say tie. Both teams are horrible. I don't know if Cliff really know what he's doing. I'm going to say a tie. I feel like both of these teams will tie. Cincinnati looked horrible. I don't know how Andy Dalton is still a quarterback. AJ Green, if you've seen the game this past Monday, he looked disgusted. Why is he still in Cincinnati? Cincinnati still has a football team. I'm gonna say that game's a tie. I'm not even picking. I'm gonna just say it's a tie. Atlanta, Houston. I've said this for about a year now. Atlanta needs to hit the reset button. Matt Ryan is not the answer for Atlanta Falcons. Maybe you swap Cam and Matt Ryan. Why not? I don't know. Houston needs a win. Atlanta needs a win. Goodness gracious, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go Houston. I'm gonna go Atlanta. Atlanta needs this win. Matt Ryan has to have a better game, but Houston needs that win too. I'm gonna go with Atlanta. I'm having an internal conflict because both of these teams need this W. Atlanta they're starting to hear that grumbles. The fans are not happy at all. They're not happy at all. I've been saying they need to hit that reset button for about a year now. That team is old. Start over. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. I watched that game against Dallas. New Orleans defense is solid. That's a solid defense. We didn't know what to expect from their defense. We didn't know how good the defense was going to be. With Drew Brees out of the game and out for a couple more weeks, we're seeing how good that defense is for New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston playing consistently, putting up 50 points in LA. He played decent. He played decent. Really played decent enough to beat New Orleans. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna say Tampa Bay goes and takes a W. They win that game. I'm gonna say Tampa Bay wins that game. We got Minnesota and the Giants. I like Daniel Jones. He's hot right now. He's hot. Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins. I don't know what else to say. It's Kirk Cousins versus Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones wins that. Chicago versus Oakland. Khalil Mack returns. Who wins? That defense is 100. Oakland is playing pretty good right now. They beat the Indianapolis Colts. That's tough. I don't trust the Bears offense. I'm gonna go Oakland. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. Mason Rudolph looked pretty good against Cincinnati, but that was Cincinnati. I'm gonna go Baltimore, needing a win to pick up after they lost to Cleveland. We got Buffalo, Tennessee. I don't know if Josh Allen's gonna be back after he had a concussion, so I'm gonna go Tennessee. I haven't heard any news on that, but I'm gonna go Tennessee on that one. Denver and the Chargers. Denver's had some tough losses in the last seconds, losing to Jacksonville by a field goal and losing to the Bears with a field goal. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chargers. They lose again. I'm gonna go Chargers. Joe Flacco. I don't know what they're doing on offense for the Denver Broncos. I don't know what they're doing on offense. And we got Green Bay, Dallas. Dallas looked bad on offense. Marshawn Lattimore had Amari Cooper on lockdown. Ezekiel didn't look good running the ball. Costly turnover, fumble. I think Dallas gets back and they do what they're supposed to do. I'm gonna go Dallas winning that game. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a shootout. I'll take the over. I'll go over whatever the over is. I'll take that. Uh, and I don't gamble. I'm just saying. I feel like that'll be a shootout. Indianapolis Colts versus KC. KC should have lost to Detroit last week, but they didn't. Indy should have beat Oakland, but they didn't. I'm going to go KC. And we got the Monday night game, Cleveland Browns versus San Francisco. The resurgence of the 49ers feels like old times again. 49ers being good. Steve Young, Joe Montana. I'm going to go San Francisco beating the Cleveland Browns. And that's the picks. I won last week. I had 6 wins. Let's see if I can keep this ball moving and see if I know what I'm talking about when I'm looking at these games. I'm just watching, and I know my Jets are horrible. But anyway, that is the show for tonight, guys. I just gave you my picks for the NFL. I just gave you some of my picks for the college football games. Some of the games that I told you to keep an eye out on. Also, let me just throw this out there. Make sure you keep an eye out on Arizona State. Herm Edwards is building something nice out there. I've been saying that all off season, but I'm just throwing that out there. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you are on Twitter, YouTube, please go through and follow the Facebook page at www.facebook.com STIPODCAST. Go there, like, share, comment, join the conversation. Also, if you're on Twitter, go ahead and follow me. Give me a follow. Join the conversation on Twitter. As you see, my Twitter feed is up there in the corner. Go ahead and follow there. Follow me there. Join the conversation. Like I said, I cover as much as sports that I can. Only on things that I can talk about. I don't want to talk about anything that I don't have any idea on. Sometimes you'll hear some tennis stuff, some hockey. Oh yeah, hockey season is back. Hockey season is back. So I'm working on some video clips. I'm working on learning how to put video clips together. So make sure you tune in. Season 2 it's about to get real good. College football is coming. Is whining. It's like getting into the meat of college football season. NFL season is starting to roll. Basketball season is around the corner. A lot of things are happening right now, and we got the political stuff going on. So a lot of stuff is cooking. I'm working on some stuff. As you see, next week I should have some better fast internet. So hopefully my picture is clearer. Working on getting some lights, so that the screen is not acting all crazy. But I'm working on a lot of stuff. The SeeThroughIt podcast is going to grow. The SeeThroughIt network that I was talking about, that's going to grow. I got some things planned. Y'all stay tuned. We are working on some stuff. The momentum is building. I'm excited. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you follow SeeThroughIt1. Follow me on Twitter. SeeThroughIt1 is in the corner. That's the logo. Use the hashtag SeeThroughIt. Hashtag STIPODCAST. Use that hashtag. Use the hashtag as you see right there. My little man right there. SeeThroughIt. Follow me on YouTube. As soon as I get to 100 subscribers, you guys, I would definitely put up the link for the YouTube so you can follow me there. So thank you again for tuning in. I hope y'all have a great weekend. It's going to be some good games. Not a lot of good games, but the games that I gave you, you should definitely be paying attention. It's going to shake up college football. If the teams that I picked to win, it should shake up college football. But anyway, remember, don't be blinded by media. Make sure you see through it. I am your host, Brian Sales, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.